Here are the top three quarterbacks to sell in 2025 Dynasty Fantasy Football. Number three, Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers. Look, Purdy has been a great story. We've enjoyed watching him during his time in the NFL. But Deebo Samuel, gone. Now he was declining, fine. CMC, Christian McCaffrey, he's getting a little bit older. George Kittle, over 30. All-world left tackle, Trent Williams, well past his mid-35 year, getting older. Injuries. Well, this depleting cast around Purdy is going to be a problem. And the other thing, when we think the 49ers lost a lot of their defensive players this year, a couple key ones as well, which leads me to think, what kind of a record will the 49ers have this year? And if it's not a good record, Kyle Shanahan at some point will be gone. So if you believe like me that Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but Kyle Shanahan helped him an awful lot, and that cast helped him an awful lot, what's going to be left in a year or two? My guess is not much. And they paid Purdy, as they should have, significant money. But even last year, and I know Ayuk was out for half a season, I get that. And McCaffrey missed a ton of the season, get that. But Purdy still had a drop-off last year. He had 11 more attempts throwing the ball from 2023 to 2024. Yardage went down 216 yards. Touchdowns went down from 31 to 20. Interceptions slightly went up, 12. His 20-yard completions, those were a big deal early with Shanahan coaching him. Those went down from 72 to 56. When you put this whole package together, I think that there's a case where Purdy's not going to fetch you a ton in selling him. But I do think it's a great opportunity to sell because there's still some perception that some of the band's back. Ayuk will be back. So I think this is a great opportunity to sell Purdy because the bottom could fall out soon. Number two, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. Goff has been great for fantasy during his time with the Detroit Lions, but there are some warning flags. First one, remember last year, weeks 1 through 9, the Lions' intention last year was to play good defense and run the ball a lot and win games and get to the Super Bowl. And that formula was working. Again, weeks 1 through 9, 8 games. Goff had 16 or fewer fantasy points in 4 of those 8 games. Why? Because Goff was frequently attempting 25 or fewer passes. He did that in 7 of those games. It was a very clear model. And then the injuries week by week piled up. And then all of a sudden, last 10 games, in 9 of those games, Goff was over 30 passes off and throwing plenty more than that. So the Lions expect to get quite a few of those injured players back. They do have the same emphasis. They have the offensive line. They've got David Montgomery and, of course, Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's more of what we saw last year. Goff not throwing much. And he loses Ben Johnson. And I think that's not a small point. Ben Johnson was perfect for Jared Goff. Now, remember, Sean McVay ran Goff out of town. But Ben Johnson came up with a perfect offensive scheme. Worked Goff in the middle of the field where he's at his very best. Do you have confidence that any coach besides Ben Johnson is going to do that? Because Ben Johnson, it was perfect. And I don't think another coach just walks in, even if he worked with Ben Johnson, to say, yeah, that never works. When you move somebody up and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're just going to roll it back. That doesn't work. It's the play calling. And we see it time to time. That's not the case. Sell Jared Goff. He still has some really good value. If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting that like button and subscribe to the RotoWire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. And did you know you can get a free 2-day trial? You don't even need a credit card. Just head on over to rotowire.com/Jim. Check out all the sports. We got you covered at RotoWire. If you like it, join the team. If not, we're just happy you took a look and see what we're all about. And again, no credit card, so there's no risk on your end. All right, let's get to number one. Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, Mayfield had a career year last year. 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, completed over 71% of his passes. He was a machine on the ground. Last year was his biggest year on the ground. Just took off. He looked great. That's the problem. Baker Mayfield's not a bad quarterback. Look, he's been given a raw deal by the fantasy community and the NFL community. His first year, he was playing at a very good level. And then Freddie Kitchen, remember that coach over in Cleveland? Yeah, second year he was overwhelmed. He completely got figured out. He had no answers. Mayfield took the hit. Well, when Kevin Stefanski came into Cleveland, all of a sudden Baker Mayfield was good again. And then what happened to Baker Mayfield? Remember that 2021 season? He tore up both of his shoulders and he played the whole season. And his numbers were awful, of course, because he couldn't throw the football. And he got run out of town as a fraud. Well, guess what? 2022, yeah, he labored around Carolina and the Rams. But the last 2 years of the Bucs, 28 touchdowns, 41. Sounds like I'm making a case on the other end of Mayfield to buy. But here's the deal. Mayfield's a good quarterback. That 41 touchdowns and all those rushing yards, and he was staggering a lot. He's taking some big hits. He's going to be good. He's not going to be that good. Liam Cohen's gone. That's not a small thing either. Liam Cohen has been a wonderful offensive coordinator, puts players in the right position to succeed. Again, you can kick somebody up the staff when Cohen goes. Not going to carry over probably. Mike Evans, over 30. Chris Godwin, late 20s. Sooner or later, some pieces are going to fall off here. Mayfield's going to lose a little bit of coaching. Yeah, maybe he gets back in that 30 touchdown range. But I think after last year, I think you could sell him for more than he actually is.